Hey guys, it's Market Update. We're in a really annoying zone where there's three really important things happening and no one knows how they're going to work out. And they could be bad, they could be good. And so because of the uncertainty here, you can't really move much higher until they resolve. So let me go through them. Right here, 77,000 is technical and on-chain resistance. So you're going to get some selling here. You can see this level here that will act as a resistance zone. And we are selling off into it. But if you look at on-chain as well, it's even clearer. This is true market mean, realized price, similar metric, right at this level. And a bear market for me is when you cross through this, stay underneath this. And once you've broken through it, it's going to take a few attempts to try and break through to a bull market again. We're right at this level. We've broken through it. So expect some selling, expect some softness here. Also the short-term holder MVRV, similar to cost basis as well. You can see it, right? We broke through this and we're in a bear market. We're trying to break through, but this is where you typically reject from. So you're going to get some selling. You're going to get some people that are maybe at break even that want to get out, etc. So it's just a technical level where we should see a little bit of consolidation or a little bit of weakness. The things that can break us through, right? So the three things: a resolution to the war in the Middle East. No one knows what's going to happen, right? So you just can't you can't predict what's going to happen with that, and so it's just the uncertainty here can't drive the price a lot higher, right? The second is a Clarity Act, which I don't think is massively important for Bitcoin and what's happening with Bitcoin long or medium term. But short term, you know, if it goes through, if it passes, great news and everyone can get bullish again. If it doesn't, it's just going to weigh on the price a little bit. And the third one is the new Fed chair. This is actually good news. I think that he's going to get through into the Fed chair role. And, you know, Walsh has said, I'm going to cut rates, right? So that's actually good news. But you just have to go through the motions, right? And so those three things are still uncertain. They could all resolve very, very well for Bitcoin, and they could see us do extremely well into the end of the year. We could go to new all-time highs, I think, if you get three good resolutions with those things. Are we going to get 2 out of 3? Or it's just uncertain, right? And so for right now, you have prices that are 30 or 40% off the all-time high. It's not a disaster. It's not a big deal. And then obviously you get rewarded for taking the risk of buying now before those things resolve. Once those things have resolved, if they've resolved positively, then you're pretty much in the 100K level again, right? And then you're just, you know, buying a higher price because of the certainty. So, you know, you're taking the risk here that maybe something bad happens and that we go to lows again. That's it, right? If you want to take a little bit more risk, you get high returns. If you don't, then you're going to wait and price is going to be higher. It's not a disaster for Bitcoin, right? We're, you know, struggling around 75K. It's not struggling, right? Everything's great and the money's flowing into Bitcoin. It's as bullish as it's ever been in terms of Bitcoin flows and what's happening with the industry. But we have to wait for those things to play out, especially Clarity. If Clarity goes through, I think it's great news and everyone can just relax and then get bullish again. If you trade Bitcoin or crypto or TradFi assets or anything else, you can trade them on Bybit. If you don't have an account yet, click the link in the description. Make an account, make a deposit. They'll give you a deposit bonus to go ahead and trade with. In any case, I think Bitcoin is good value here. Forget the short term, right? There's always going to be something in the next 6 months that can happen that can drive the price. That just really isn't the game anymore, right? Bitcoin is now proliferating through Wall Street. So it won as an asset, right? It is probably past the point of no return now in terms of it is owned and important enough that it's part of the financial system. So this thing isn't going away, right? And its characteristics fundamentally are desirable. So it's going to keep proliferating. So that question's out the game. Now you just have to figure out what's the forward return at the price that you're paying, right? So it's at its trend rate of growth. It's at the 200-week moving average, more or less. This orange line is just my fitted line of the growth. We might get some resistance here because we're at the trend, right? Look, this is a 30% forward return. Bitcoin has been going up. The 200-week moving average has been going up around 30% a year. So you're buying that. You're buying around 30% forward returns, which is more than the NASDAQ, more than the S&P. And that's it. Are there going to be assets that have higher forward returns? Yes. But are they the same as Bitcoin? No. Like, Bitcoin is a worldwide index. It's actually, I think, less risky than a lot of individual assets that may outperform it, but you can have a portfolio of anything. In any case, a fundamental portfolio building block that's going up at 30% a year if you buy it now. That's pretty good, right? That's great. Now, the more important question is credit going to get created? Because the only way the Bitcoin price goes up, because we're valuing it in cash. So the only reason markets go up at all is because more cash is printed, right? So the NASDAQ, the S&P, the only reason they go up is because we're valuing them in cash that gets printed. if you stop printing the cash, then those markets would go down. And so the actual question is, what's going to happen to currency printing and credit printing? Well, we know with Bitcoin, it's a capital asset that is now allowing credit creation on top, right? With the preferreds from Strategy and everyone else, right? So, and now the banks are bringing it in, which is fantastic news. So you can use it as collateral to issue credit against. That's what we do, right? So the real question is, if you want the price to go up, are we going to create more credit? And I think the answer to that is yes. So Walsh is going to come in and he is going to cut interest rates, which is going to loosen monetary policy, which is fantastic. You can see federal spending here. Remember Doge, completely out the game, right? It's actually tracking the same as every other time period. Of course it is. Now we know that the Trump admin wants to spend even more on defense, which is definitely currency creation. And what the banks, or what the central bank wants to do, along with the Treasury, is to offload a lot of this currency creation into the banks rather than the central bank. You also have this right here, which is grid infrastructure, equipment and supply. This is important because the government is going to have to step into these industries and essentially create price floors for a lot of this build out. Now that's important because if there's a price floor and if the government is saying this is national security, etc., that means the banks can basically issue unlimited amount of credit against it because they don't really have any risk, right? If you can issue credit against the build out of certain industries where the government is saying there is a backstop here, this is national security, you can issue unlimited credit against that, right? Because you've basically got no risk. The government's going to step in and put a price floor on things and make sure things get done. So this is actually allowing for massive credit creation and economic activity off the back of it. And they're going to suppress rates because Walsh is already saying, you can see his interviews, we think interest rates are too high, or he does. So he's going to push for lower interest rates, which pushes interest rates down, which allows for more credit creation. And you can see what they're doing here with the ESLR is trying to take the credit creation or the money printing away from the central bank, put it back into the commercial banks, with the government stepping into certain industries saying, we're going to put price floors in, this is national security, issue credit, get things going. All of that is credit creation, which is ultimately good for Bitcoin. So I can see the future here. The next stages of credit creation, which must happen, by the way, are in the works, very slow. And that's good news. They'll always print money, but this is what they're going to do, and it's going to happen because otherwise the whole currency system collapses. It's just not going to work out, right? So they're going to print money. This is the way they're going to do it. Bitcoin's at its trend rate of growth, which is pretty good news. Most people are just bored or not looking at it because why would you, right? Most people only really pay attention when the price is up like 50% in a month or something like that. At that point, the work should have already been done, right? You can't make a decision when that's happened. So Bitcoin's at its trend rate. You're going to get 30% forward returns most likely with some volatility. That's great news. And the credit creation is going to come. We're very definitely past the peak now of people that hear about Bitcoin as a technology and they're interested in it as money or everything else and they want to learn about it and they go ahead and buy it. We're past that peak, right? All of those people, probably you and me, have been served and we're already in. They're not the next stage of money to flow into Bitcoin, right? Because, we're in it already. So on the margin, we're not going to increase. We are a very small percent of the world, right? Maybe not even 1% or so. Probably not even 1%. The next amount of money that flows into Bitcoin is not going to be sold on Bitcoin. They could not care less, right? They're not tech forward people. They don't care about that. They don't care about digital money. Right? They probably have money already because they're on Wall Street, right? What they're looking for is something that goes up 10, 15%, and they want some yield. And so the products, the things that we're talking about with Bitcoin now sound extremely boring. And that's because they're for Wall Street. But these are the people with the new money that are going to flow in, right? This is where the new money is. People that have heard about Bitcoin, that want to get in, have done. If you've heard about Bitcoin, you don't care about it, you're not going to care about it because someone else in a suit tells you that it's great. But if someone in a suit comes to you and says, we've got this security that we've made, which yields 10% and is basically like a cash-like instrument, or we're trying to hold the value near cash and then pay some yield on it. And an investment manager says, we're going to take 3% of our fund and put it in this. Extremely boring, right? It's not even interesting to talk about, but this is the next stage of capital. Now, this is the larger amount of capital in the world, right? Us lot, with our money, buying a bit of Bitcoin, it actually doesn't move the needle that much, right? The next 10x is by all of the products around Bitcoin, which is yield products and ETFs with selling the volatility and everything else. So that's where the money has to come from. Every single major bank is bringing this collateral into their banking system so that clients can issue credit against it, etc. This is very boring, but it's the next stage of Bitcoin, right? It's the next 10x in the Bitcoin price is the products around it. And it's very boring. And it's not Bitcoin itself, right? Bitcoin itself as an idea will kind of go into the shadows because the people that want to own Bitcoin specifically, like actually Bitcoin, they already know about it. They're already buying it. We're already here, right? But issuing credit against it, whatever else you want to do, that's actually the thing that's going to grow BTC over the next 10 years. And it's coming into all of the major banks. So it will happen, right? It's going to happen. It is happening. So in the short term, you've got all of this uncertainty, which is always the case. But if you just go out 5 or 10 years, this asset is proliferating through the banks right now. And you can just put the forward projections on it, right? 30% a year for the next 10 years, 25% a year for the next 10 years. You go a lot higher, you get into the multiple hundreds of thousands per coin, and you're buying it at that trend rate right now. If you do trade Bitcoin, crypto, check out Bybit. Click the link in the description, sign up for an account, which is free. If you do make a deposit, they'll give you a deposit bonus to go ahead and trade with. I'm James, this is ManZG. Cheers for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.